Hello and welcome to another edition of Santa Sophia Connect. As many of you know, Santa Sophia Connect is our forum to connect with our parents and partner with our parents regarding your child's learning. This evening I'm joined by Stephanie Musgrave.
Welcome, hi Steph. Everyone.
And Angela Keehee.
Hi.
Steph is a kindergarten teacher, as you know, and Angela is the first time on Facebook Connect, is our stage 4 English teacher. So parents, tonight our topic is literacy. Any question is possible. There are no questions that are off limits regarding literacy. I've got the experts here, and the experts are going to help you share some literacy strategies to assist your child's learning at home. Just before we begin, I just want to make an announcement that Dr. Kirsty Goodwin is our next PEN speaker, and she'd be at the college on Wednesday, the 18th of September at 7 o'clock. And Dr. Goodwin will be talking to us about helping solve digital dilemmas. Okay, so please put that in your diaries. 18th of September with Dr. Kirsty Goodwin, our next PEN speaker. Okay, so I'm going to hand over to the experts.
Thank you.
And good luck.
Oh, thank you. We're excited. Thanks, Mark. Okay, well, welcome everyone. It's really exciting to see you all again. I'm just going to quickly adjust this camera so you can see us. Welcome to another Facebook Live. We're really excited to share with you tonight. We're particularly going to focus on literacy and, building the literacy capacity of our students and your beautiful children.
Yeah, and we're going to we'll try and suggest some ways that maybe you could support what we do at the school. We have our role as literacy teachers, but we'd really like to offer you some suggestions of what you might like to be able to do at home to support your child's learning and their ability to communicate in the world as young communicators.
Yeah, so we really want to look at the whole vision of literacy we have here at Santa Sophia and the partnership that we're building, not just between, kindergarten and stage 4, looking at a whole school approach, and also the partnership we have with our parents and how we can, all jointly build the capacity of these, beautiful students that we have in our classroom. Yeah. As we know, literacy is about being, able to effectively communicate in our world, whether that's through reading or writing, talking, listening. And so we're looking at literacy not just as part of an English lesson, but through all our learning, in our whole school life.
We definitely take on that view that every teacher at Santa Sophia is a literacy teacher.
Absolutely.
And that we're all responsible for, in our subject areas, particularly in stage 4 and 5 and 6 as we grow, that we are all going to try and help our students be better at writing, better at reading, better at speaking, so that they can actually operate as in the real world when they finally leave us.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to go on a journey together with our staff and our students and our parents to build the capacity of all of our students to be literate and what that means.
Yes.
So in terms of a kindergarten context, obviously we're starting right at the beginning of our students' journey, which I find really, really exciting. And the students have loved engaging in all literacy activities within the classroom. And that's done all throughout the day, all throughout the week in everything that we do. I'm sure the students are coming home and talking lots about the reading groups and the different oral language pods that we have within the classroom. This term, we've packed away our coffee shop, which was very successful last term. It would have been, it was really wonderful having visitors come into the classroom and the students taking, all sorts of coffee orders and preparing them and asking and answering questions. It was really exciting. So we've packed that away and we now have a doctor's surgery.
Oh, wow.
Which is really exciting. So
it's very exciting.
If we ever have visitors in kindergarten, the students will assess the patient through a list of different questions they can ask, and we're learning how to answer questions, and they look at x-rays, they bandage people up, they make medicine. It's very complex, it's very exciting, the students love it. So it's a really great way to engage with developing their oral language skills, and it's something I find really important in kindergarten. We've recently released the PM e-collection reading app, which the students are absolutely loving. It's really wonderful to see the students engaging in reading a variety of different texts, both in the classroom and at home. investigations, of course. I'm sure the kindergarten students are coming home and sharing with you all about what we've been learning so far. This term, we've started learning about winter as one of our seasons. We've had a beautiful, warm fireplace pod there where the students, again, are developing their oral language skills. And we're constantly writing. Every day we're writing all about personal experiences, which is really important in kindergarten, so that they have the understanding that, you know, what I'm talking can come in written form. I can reread my writing, and that writing holds meaning. And can be shared with a variety of audiences.
Well, in stage 4, obviously, it's very different. Our kids might not go home and really talk about what they're reading and writing. It's very different, isn't it? But in stage 4, I guess our focus is to build the capacity to do those things, but also with much more complex texts. So we're really trying to work in, not just in English, but in other KLAs as well, to really start to hone in on those reading skills and really get our kids to really understand what they're reading, but really take those extra steps as well to infer meaning. So really reading between the lines, so not just reading what's there, but starting to really think critically about what we are reading and what it can tell us, and then apply that understanding of what they've read as a whole. So wherever possible, we would like to implement or use literacy strategies and assisting our students with reading. Our kids, when they get a little bit older, sometimes don't read as much. Some do, and that's fantastic. But with the ones that are a little bit more of a reluctant reader and reluctant writers, they often need us to help them a little bit further with thinking while they're reading. So we might do something like a think aloud in class, or some margin questions, or something to really assist them to think more complex ideas about the text there.
As we continue to talk about what we're doing in stage 4, I'd just like to welcome Nina. Hi, thank you very much for your question. I can see there that Nina has just asked if we'll be introducing reading recovery later on for the children. Absolutely. Great news. I'm a reading recovery teacher. So reading recovery is an intervention program that happens specifically in Year 1. So while I am now currently using reading recovery strategies with the kindergarten children in developing their reading so that they can be successful when they go to high school, the reading recovery program itself will happen in Year 1. If there is a need for the students who are now currently in kindergarten, we'll assess them at the beginning of next year and work out who will both most benefit from the program, and we'll have the opportunity to implement that. And that will be something that will be a whole school approach in the future, and how we will be growing as a school. And yes, reading recovery will be happening within Year 1 specifically itself. Thank you for your question though.
So I guess we're coming back to what we're doing in stage 4, really trying to get our kids to read more critically with in all their subjects. In terms of writing, one strategy that was often used is a peel strategy.
What's a peel strategy?
Well, I bet you could ask one of your kids and ask them what peel is, and they should know. It's one of our strategies that we use to really help our kids think about what they're going to write, and the order and the structure, rather, is a better word for it, the structure that they might write something. And it can be applied in multiple subjects. So peel really stands for point, which is like a topic sentence, your elaboration or your explanation. An example would be the second E, and sometimes those E's go back and forth. And then L, which is your link back. So what you end up with is a paragraph that has a point and elaboration, some examples to support the point, then a link that brings it all together. So it's just a way for our kids to remember, when I go to write a paragraph, I'm not just writing everything.
Hi everyone, we're back
again.
Sorry, we seem to have some technical difficulties.
I'm not quite sure where we left off. I think we were talking about peel, so we might just go from
so we might just recap, because we're not sure when we lost you or when you lost us. So hopefully you are able to rejoin us. I can see there is a few more people connecting back on, so sorry for disengaging from you, but we're back again. Hopefully it doesn't happen. The joys of technology. We might just quickly go back over the peel strategy that they're using in stage 4, and then continue what we were discussing about literacy.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how much you heard before it all cut out, but we were just talking about peel as a strategy for writing paragraphs, and it's something that our stage 4 kids have become really familiar with and are learning and trying to practice and get better at, and it's something that can be applied really to multiple KLA, so it's not just an English thing. And the P part of peel, so P is your point, like your topic sentence.
Yep.
The next E is your elaboration, the E is an example, and sometimes that can go back and forth, and the L is the length. So when you're writing a paragraph, that's kind of the structure that you would follow. No, it's gone off again.
Can you see us? It's it says it's
okay.
I don't know if you can still see me.
The video has ended. Shall we go with done?
Oh, Tanya. It says it's ended.
Ours is ended. That's unusual.
Can you? Oh,
we're still on.
Can you still see me?
Yes, they can still see us.
Oh, you can still see me.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Thanks for letting us know.
We can't see ourselves.
Okay.
But if you're sending text messages through saying that you can see us, then
we're going to keep going.
Clearly, technology isn't working for us tonight. I apologise, but we'll keep talking.
Yeah, we might.
And feel free to keep sending through your hellos. Thank you for letting us know that you can see us.
Yes, that's really great. Thank you.
Hello to all the kindergarten students if you're watching. We're really excited about going to the farm tomorrow.
Yay.
Yeah, feel free to keep sending through your questions.
Good.
We'll keep talking as if we can be seen.
Yeah.
Can you see both of us? Yes, I think you can.
Awesome.
Okay, great. So I think you caught everything we said about the peel strategy.
Yeah. Really just skilling our kids, isn't it? Skilling them to be able to read, write multiple text types, different audiences, different purposes.
Yeah. So we've discussed, I suppose, briefly what we're doing within our own classroom context and what literacy is looking like at Santa Sophia. We might talk about now how we can support our parents.
Yes.
We know we want to build that partnership between all of our families at Santa Sophia. So we might just talk about, the best ways you can support your children at home to be, successful literature advocates.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess what we really, and this is not a high school thing, it's about a whole school thing, is
absolutely.
We really want to enforce that our kids who we want to read and who we want to write as well, what you could do as a parent is really to model what it's like to be a good reader and a good writer. And that doesn't necessarily mean you've got to sit in the lounge room and read a novel to show that your children, I read novels. It's really can be something that's an everyday thing.
Yeah.
So
you'll be surprised how much we read on a daily basis. And it's just about engaging your children with that.
Yeah.
So it's from a variety of different things, whether it comes from a novel or a picture book.
Yes.
It can come from any sorts of books, cooking together and reading recipes, looking at magazines.
I know cooking can be really stressful, especially with little ones, because I'm a mum as well. But if you cook with them and you sort of go through the recipe with them, that's time reading and even talking about a text that's there. It doesn't have to be, as I said, a novel. It can be a board game. You sit down on the weekend with a board game and read the instructions together, go through and say, what does that say there? So that's, I guess, for our kids that maybe are reluctant to read, we can find ways to read with them with the text that they have.
And it's about engaging with a variety of different types of text and types of media. You can be looking at rich literature from picture books and from novels. You can be looking at comic books and posters and, all sorts of those high interest things that your children have. Even looking at graphic novels and even wordless picture books are great for the younger students because it helps them with their inferential capabilities and telling stories themselves. So, there's a variety of different ways that we engage with text, and it's just about getting our children, your children, to understand and appreciate that and engage in the dialogue of doing it together.
Yeah, it can become a sort of family thing. You don't, when you can read with your child, you can read to your child or ask your child if they're reading anything. I know with high school kids, they might not come home and talk too much about it, but maybe you could just ask them, did you read anything today? Did you write anything today? What have you guys been doing? So
I suppose it is quite
different,
isn't it? Because as the kindergarten teacher, I know the students are coming home each day with their readers in their purple folder, which they would be reading each night. very different in a high school context.
Yeah.
You're not sending the books home
No,
to read on a
and
daily basis.
Unfortunately, we don't have direct access to a library. I mean, we sometimes have an opportunity to go to the John Paul II library, but it's not always the case. But we do have access to a really good online library, and then kids can access these online books at home.
Yeah.
So for our kids that maybe are really wanting a library and wanting library time, at the moment we have a reading hub where they can get us a book if they want.
Oh, lovely.
But also they have access to so many different fiction and non-fiction books and research books on our online library. For our kids that maybe struggle to read longer text, they have audiobooks as well.
Oh, wonderful.
So they often release as well weekly book of the week or something they're interested in. So kids are thinking, I don't know what I'm even interested in reading.
Yeah.
Maybe trying the book of the week. But it's really also about allowing, giving our children access to things that they can read that will help them ultimately with their reading and their writing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So providing them with the books, providing them with recipes, magazines.
Yes.
Take them to the library if you can.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah, take them to your local library just as a little family outing. You don't necessarily need to make it a daily thing, but we'd like our parents to sort of model that they value reading, writing, and we're going to provide the environment for you to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Because if our kids can see, you're their first teachers, so if they can see that the people that matter to them most really want them to do this and really want them to read and are really trying to provide it for them, hopefully they can.
I think that
will come off.
That value of reading is so important. I remember that from my childhood. I loved being read to.
Yes.
I was. Mum loved reading me picture books, at bedtime. I remember we had a very special book that, I could only read on special occasions, and that was Possum Magic. So I've got a real love of,
a good one.
Yeah, I've got a real love of Mem Fox books. And then that turned into reading novels. Like we went on to The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe and reading those series together. And we really did develop a love of reading amongst our family. And like you said, it can be a family thing. It can be a family outing to the library, maybe once a month. And, the students then get excited about their own self-selection and what they can choose. And, libraries are vast and never-ending.
Absolutely. You can pick from non-fiction. So if they're not much of a novel person, they can maybe read a biography or an informative book that they're interested in. Maybe they're interested in soccer. So they might look for something in that case. And it facilitates discussion, but it also exposes them to well-written texts and what good writing looks like. So then when we feed it back into what writing is and what it needs to look like, if they're constantly reading, then they're constantly being exposed to really good writing the way it should be written.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's such, reading and writing are so interconnected. They,
absolutely.
They bounce off each other and inform each other. So, but I really like the idea of using the online library as well. I suppose kindergarten have that in the PNE collection, and how they can now access those little books at home through, the digital versions of those books, which is really exciting. And I've seen lots of parents logging on. The students are getting into it. I'm able to track their reading, which is exciting. I've seen some of them starting to voice record over the top of the books, which is really exciting. So they're also able to hear themselves read and what reading sounds like. They're having lots of fun doing that, which is wonderful. I suppose there's a few other things that we could be doing at home. I know in kindergarten, I'm a huge fan of magnetic letters. They can be used for everything to help with reading and writing skills. You can use them for, pulling words out of a book and, using the magnetic letters to make that. You can use that to revise the sounds of words. You can use it to revise your sight words. I use magnetic letters all the time, and it's a great resource to have at home for students to build words. And again, it will help with their sight words that the parents have been getting home and learning their sounds as well. So you can connect that with their sound book that they also have in their purple folder. We spoke about visiting the local library. I believe, as a kindergarten teacher, any access to picture books is absolutely brilliant. I often say that, when you have a child, a newborn baby, if you read to that child, one picture book every day, they've read 365 books by the time they're one. Like, imagine the literature they're being exposed to before they can even talk.
That's right.
It's really exciting. Now, you've probably read The Very Hungry Caterpillar. 200 times.
Yeah.
You're probably really sick of the very hungry caterpillar, but all of a sudden, one day that child is going to pick up that book and they're going to read it to you.
Yes.
They're going to have a go at turning the pages,
Yes.
at picking up the book itself and physically handing it,
Yeah.
at, you know, looking at the pictures. At, you know, it will be repetition because they've memorized it.
Yeah,
but that's how
right.
reading starts. That's how they learn. And all of a sudden, that repetition becomes, I can find that word in the book. And
you become more capable the more you reread something as well. There's research
Absolutely.
to suggest that rereading really helps you consolidate your knowledge overall.
I'd just like to say hi to Kelly. I can see she's asked a question there, but I've lost my glasses, so I can't read it.
So the question is, because we use technology so much these days, is there any way that the school could reach out to school somewhere in Australia for pen pals? It's a really interesting question. I'm not sure about any pen pals, but I think giving our kids an opportunity to write to an authentic audience.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
really love that idea.
Yeah, I love that idea as well.
Yeah, we could look into that further.
Yeah, it'd be great to build connections. You know, even if at the moment it is, you know, kindy writing to the high school. I know they've written cards before of thanks, which was really beautiful. They're really excited. But, you know, I'm sure we'll find opportunities to write to authors or illustrators and ask questions. All these wonderful big ideas of, like you said, writing for an audience, writing for a purpose.
And a real audience that you'll get a reply back.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, great idea. We'd absolutely love to set that up. And I can see Nina has asked a question.
Yeah, so should we be moving to getting our books online as kids are moving away from the library? Thoughts on this?
No. It's an absolute balance between the two. Being, you know, an infants teacher, I think it's so important for children to physically hold a book. Yes, using apps and digital books is a great addition to reading, but students need to know how to physically pick up a book, how to differentiate the front cover from the back, what a title is, the moving of the pages, directionality, really important, how to turn to a page, how to point to words so I know what I'm saying matches what's written, how to find where I start reading, which page do I read first if there's text on both pages. They need to be able to access physical books to learn the skill of reading before they can then apply that to digital texts.
Absolutely, and there has to be a balance. So in the high school, yes, we have electronic, we've got ebooks, but we also have our paper novels. When we studied a play in English, we had a hard copy of the play. There's going to be a balance between them, just as there's a balance between typing and writing. So you have to have that balance. But no, I don't think we should move to getting all of our books online. I think it should work complementary to books that you have.
Absolutely.
So there are, say, things like a Kindle, which is a whole bunch of ebooks. You can get ebooks on there. You can get those as hard copy books, or you can get them on the Kindle. And the Kindle gives you just extra features like a dictionary on there. But I still think that there's got to be a balance between the two. Yeah, read a novel on or read a recipe hard copy, and then maybe listen to an audiobook. But not all audiobooks. And definitely not all online ebooks.
I don't know about you, but I can only look at a computer for so long. My eyes start to get a little bit blurry. I actually enjoy the physicality of picking up a novel and holding it in my hands and turning the pages. You know, maybe that's old-fashioned of me.
No, it's definitely not. But as our kids become more critical readers, particularly in English, when we have to look at a novel in a more critical way. So we haven't actually studied a novel this year, but we will be studying novels in the future. And to be able to write your thoughts and ideas and comments around, it's so much quicker than getting your PDF out. And I mean,
and I actually find that really helpful for me as well. I know that I need to actually physically write things down, whether, you know, I'm at uni, I'm at a staff meeting, I'm working with the students. Yes, typing can be effective, but I actually find I learn more with the physicality of writing, because it's engaging more of my body and more of my brain. It helps me to process, to physically write things down. So again, we're seeing that link between reading and writing. And from, you know, a kindergarten writing perspective, I don't have to sit with a writing pencil and write. I can, you know, use chalk. I can use highlighters. I can use textures. I can write words in the sand. I can paint words. I can make words out of Play-Doh. So it's all about engaging reading and writing from a variety of different angles, so that your children are really engaged and they're bringing literacy to life.
And if they really love reading and writing, that's only going to benefit them in the future, because they'll be more confident speakers, they'll be more confident writers, and they'll be really just confident in the way that they communicate in multiple different avenues in their life.
So I'd like to thank you so much for joining us tonight, even amongst the technological problems.
Sorry for all of those issues.
I hope
really glad you saw us.
Yeah, I hope this has been a helpful way to connect with us and discuss, you know, some of our literacy plans for the future of Santa Sophia, and perhaps a few suggestions of things you can do at home. Keep in mind that, you know, we're always available as teachers to chat with you if you have any specific concerns about your children, or want any, you know, further ideas about how we can support you at home with developing those literacy skills. We would like to let you know about our next Santa Sophia Connect, which is coming up in a few weeks. We'll have some teachers on Facebook talking to you about numeracy, which is really exciting, and how we're developing numeracy at Santa Sophia and what that looks like in our classrooms, and also how you can develop those same skills at home with your students, well, your children, our students. One final reminder, just about our next PEN meeting with Dr. Kirsty Goodwin. We'd love to see you there. Reminder, it's on Wednesday, the 18th of September at 7 o'clock, and we're looking at the digital dilemmas that some of our children are facing these days, with obviously the wide access that we have. So, you know, I would like to thank you very much for joining us. It was
thank you for joining us.
Great to chat.
We're talking about literacy, and hope you got something out of it.
Yeah. Hope to see you soon. Bye.